Then chapter 11, verse 81. This is kind of a technical difference here, but it's a difference nonetheless, and it's a contradiction. So essentially, just kind of make it really
guys, everyone
condensed.
catch this. Contradiction here.
Yeah.
Complete contradiction.
Yes.
In other words,
So
one of these has to be false. One of them
yes.
has to be false.
And so what's happening in the Arabic is it's like this technical grammatical thing. Like, where is this going back to in the sentence? Is it going back to this clause or that clause? So the majority reading has it read like this. I'll just read the whole verse and then I'll explain the variance there. So they, in this translation, it puts in the angels, said, "O Lot, indeed we are messengers of your Lord. Therefore, they will never reach you. So set out with your family during a portion of the night, and let not any among you except your wife. Indeed, she will be struck by that which strikes them. Indeed, their appointment is for the morning, is not the morning near." So what's happening there in the Arabic is this "except your wife" bit. Except your wife. Where is that exception going back to? So in the majority reading, it's "set out with your family during a portion of the night, except your wife." So in other words, she's not going with you. You don't include her. So this is the command of the angels. Okay. So how I like to phrase this to the Muslims when I'm talking to them is, what did the angels command Lot to do? Did they command to take his wife or not? Because the other one says, "Set out with your family during a portion of the night." There's no "except" there. "And let not any among you look back except your wife." So there's two commands there. Set out with your family during a portion of the night, and let not any among you look back. And "except your wife" goes into one in the majority reading and goes into the other in the other reading, the alternative reading.
Yeah, so this is the one where it's just the difference between the nominative or the accusative, but
Yes,
that changes what it's modifying. So guys,
exactly.
it's
We
hey
have this
hey
situation here.
every it's hey everyone, Lot, take your entire family with you except your wife. Right? Take your
Yes.
entire family with you except your wife. Okay, what's that mean? It means he's taking his entire family with him except his wife. His wife's not going with them. Or, hey, take your whole family with you and don't look back except your wife. In which case,
Yes.
you're taking the wife too, but she's the only one who's going to look back, and then she's in trouble. So guess what? What's that mean? It means some versions take out your whole family, take your whole family with you, but your wife's going to look back. And other versions, take your whole family except your wife. So in some versions, he's commanded to leave his wife at home. And in other versions, he's commanded to take his wife with him, but she's the one who's going to look back. Guess what, guys? It's one or the other. It has to be one or the other. Both of these are supposedly revealed by Allah. So instead of saying that, oops, some scribe messed it up and switched it from nominative to accusative or accusative to nominative, instead of saying that, they'll just say, no, Allah revealed it in these eternally contradictory ways.
Yeah. Which, by the way, just in those cases, like a nominative case or accusative, we're literally talking about one vowel difference. So I'll just read it. Imra'ateka, imra'ateka, imra'atuka. So it's like an A or an U, like an A or O. That's literally the difference. And so the idea is like, well, yeah, of course, Gabriel came twice. He said and then U in the other one. It's like, or someone just made a mistake somewhere.
By the way, I want a video compiling like 10 examples just like that, and
there's plenty.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That seems very common. That this letter difference or something like that, but changes the meaning. And they say no, they both go back to Allah. And it's like, if we put together like 10 or 12 of those, and then I'll frame it as inference to the best explanation. What's the best explanation for why you have these variants? Human beings aren't perfect and they make mistakes sometimes, or Allah just is conveniently revealing things in all these different ways that look really, really similar and close to each other and look exactly like a mistake a human being would make, but it's not a mistake.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And we're gonna see those when we look to like there's like it's so obvious that like someone else is just making a mistake, but Muslims they just attribute it to Allah instead. So here's a Shankiti here who is a big Muslim scholar, recent Muslim scholar, like we're not talking about like a classical scholar, but like in recent times, and Yasser Qadi calls him like the teacher of our teachers. Like he's like this big sheikh, so 1181 he comments and he says the reading of the majority other than Ibn Kathir and Abu Amr, those are like the other two readings where, so basically each reader, not to complicate things or confusing, but each reader has two transmitters. So even though it's Ibn Kathir, not, by the way, this is not Ibn Kathir the commentator, this is Ibn Kathir the reader, so two different Ibn Kathirs, and Abu Amr. So each of them have like two students. So even though there's only two names mentioned here, he's actually talking about four readings in total. So four readings. Okay. So he's saying that the majority reading has no issues. Well, obviously, if you just have one reading, there's going to be no issues with that one reading unless there's a contradiction inside the verse itself. But anyway, he says, because the majority read, and let not any of you turn except your wife. On the reading of the accusative, there's no issue in the verse at all. And the meaning is, so travel by night with your family in a portion of the night, except your wife. So the except goes there, and do not travel with her. So don't travel with her. Leave with your family except your wife, right? Leave her with the doomed ones. Indeed, it will afflict on her what is afflicted on them, because she is a disbeliever among them. Okay, now it goes. Now here's the variant. As for the reading of Abu Amr and Ibn Kathir, in the nominative case, except your wife, there is a contradiction in the verse. Now, this is a Muslim scholar, and we have another Muslim scholar.
Wait, what do you call it? What do you call it?
A contradiction.
Wait, he called it a contradiction?
Muslim scholar called it a contradiction.
Muslim scholar? I thought there were no contradictions. Here we have one of the great Muslim scholars of recent years calling it a contradiction. And yet we're idiots if we think these differences are anything beyond, pronunciation differences.
Exactly. And so we're just like, this is a condensed presentation, but if we were to go in detail on this verse, there are other Muslim scholars who point out issues, and there's another Muslim scholar who said that this is a contradiction as well. So he says there is a contradiction in the verse. There is a contradiction opposed to his saying "except your wife," because his saying "except your wife" with the fatha, which is the a vowel, indicates that he did not travel with her, and the reading "except your wife" with the dhamma, which is the u vowel or o vowel, indicates that he traveled with her. So one indicates that he did not travel with her, and the other one indicates that he did travel with her, and that none turn except her. So he's saying that there is a contradiction there. Then he goes on to try to explain, like, this is how the majority of scholars will try to like reconcile it, but he doesn't actually like tell you his position on whether that's, does he think it's a good explanation or not. He just goes on to say like what they do. And what they do is, and so if you bring this one up to Muslims, what they'll say is they'll just focus on her fate. Well, it doesn't matter anyway. Whether she stayed back or she turned around or whatever, she's still a disbeliever. She's still like, her fate is still sealed. But our question is, what did the angels command Lot to do? Did the angels command that he takes his wife or not? Because that's the contradiction in the command itself, not what actually happened, right? Like her fate, that we're not talking about that. I mean, you can argue that way, but I always found it the best way to argue it is, what did the angels command? So Muslim scholar here admitting there's a contradiction.
All right. So guys, this is a Quran scholar talking to Paul Williams, Muslim apologist. And watch what the guy says to him. Short clip.
Many people, maybe most, I don't know, many Muslims grow up not knowing anything outside of the Hafs tradition. And they don't get exposed to the idea that there are other reading traditions and that there are Quranic variants and that all sort of this whole system framework that I discussed. And it might be surprising to some people, but and unfortunately, actually, so I have heard some preachers that do say that there's only, one reading or one Quran or something like that. And if I were to be very generous, I would say that falls under the umbrella of like lies to children, if that makes sense. So lies to children.
Catch that, guys. Hey, what about all these Muslim guys who say there's only one Quran? Yeah, I would think of that as like
every tweet we just read.
Lies to children. So all the people, you guys are so stupid. Stupid for what? For not believing what scholars think of as lies to children.